Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kat. I like lots of makeup, lots and lots of makeup, and today is no different. Today we're going to be covering my Sephora haul during the VIB sale. And for those of you that don't know, 2 times a year Sephora does a VIB sale, which is essentially where anyone that is any kind of tiered member is able to get a certain percentage off. And so the lowest percentage would be 10, the VIB members would get 15%, and then your Rouge members get 20%. Not a bad deal if you're looking to get your makeup a little bit cheaper, and since I somehow keep getting more and more makeup, I like my makeup to be cheaper than what it normally is. But for today, here we go. I am super duper excited for this. So we're just gonna launch right into this baby. All right, so the first thing that I got is actually not makeup related, but I thought that it was too good of a deal to pass up. So from Hermes, I'm fairly certain that's how I'm saying it is correct. I did check with my mother after my last video where I jacked up the pronunciation, and she confirmed it is Hermes. So they essentially had, for their holiday gift set, 4 different little mini perfumes that you can get in this super cute little gift box. And since I could never afford their perfumes on a normal basis, I figured I would get the holiday set. And so it's actually not bad. Even before the percentages off that I got, it was only 50 bucks, which for 4 of them, I don't think is half bad at all. All right, so it does come in the very typical orange with dark brown lining type box on here. And inside, there are your 4 perfumes. And so they are essentially the exact same shape as the full-size ones, but they're just little minis. So let's take the first one out. Does it screw open? How do you even... It just pops right off. Okay. Smells like perfume. I am really great at attempting to discern what type of flavor notes are in these types of things. This is kind of pretty. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh, okay, this one's got a little bit more of some floral notes in there. It's very nice. A little bit of a lighter smell than this one. This one was definitely very heavy perfume, like your grandmother, you know. I don't know what it is about like going to visit grandmothers and that they just, I think once you hit like a certain age, the need to just slather on perfume somehow becomes overwhelming. I don't know. And then we've got this little dude right here. Super cute little pack. It's almost like a little top hat type thing. Or not top hat, bowler hat on top of this guy. Shoved my nose into that one. Okay, it's not bad. It's a little bit subtle. And then we have the one that is the cutest out of all of them, which is this little guy. And it's actually flat on the one side and then round on the other. Rogue and Falco are super dehydrated, so they're going whole hog on that water bowl right now. Yeah, I think this packaging is kind of cute. It has almost like on the background some little stars. There you go, you can kind of see it. Almost looks like dust specks when it's that close to the camera, but it's little stars, which is cute. Okay, well, I think out of all of them, I like this guy. Definitely the most tolerable of the smells. Like, I'm not particularly good with perfumes. I mainly got it for the bottles because I thought they were really cute. But until they are empty, I'm for sure just going to be sharing these with my mother because I am not someone that uses a ton of perfume. I tend to stick with body sprays and things like that. But the one I think I'll keep, and then the other 3 my mother can have. I'm sure she's gonna be thrilled as she's watching this. Okay, next up we have, okay, just a little one from Rare Beauty. This is one of the Liquid Touch sponges. And even though I'm sure we all recall how not great my experiences with Rare Beauty makeup went. I did want to try out the sponge because it looked kind of interesting, and it is interesting. It is super rough. That is not soft at all. This is what it looks like, but it is very rough, almost kind of like if you were to get an actual sea sponge and use that. And so I'm not sure how this is going to feel in water, but I thought I would give it a try. So they actually feel like this particular type of sponge way more, which is very interesting because that to me seems way too rough to use on your face. And so I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna like that, but just wanted to show you guys what it actually feels like since I found a picture. So stick around for a future video where I test this sucker out. Okay, next up we have from Viseart. So this is not at all what I was expecting. This is tiny, but this is the Petite Pro 5 Soleil, and it is very, very small. Man, I thought these things were bigger. I could have sworn that they were. Maybe because it's like the petite one, they're just like, oh, you wanted the mini one. But this is the packaging for it. Kind of cute, like a little envelope, and then you just open the top and the bottom, and then there are your shades and a little mirror. And I just thought these shades were kind of cute. The yellow and the darker kind of purple one down here were the two shades that really intrigued me, and so I'll be testing this guy out. I guess this is good for travel. What, so you're like the only human being right now that's able to travel? What kind of suggestion is that? Since it's so tiny, but I was not expecting that as I'm opening this. Okay, next up we have from Hourglass the Vanish foundation, which I did try the stick foundation from Hourglass while I was still in Germany, and I was pleasantly surprised. So it's definitely one of those ones where initially as you put it on, it's very typical for me with how it went on my skin, that it was a little bit patchy, a little bit cakey, didn't look particularly good. Even though it was a good color match for my skin tone, it just wasn't great. But then interestingly enough, the heat from my face and like the summer heat outside, I guess, as well, helped it to actually kind of blend into my skin a little bit better. And so like an hour or two later, the finish was actually way, way nicer than what it was when I initially put it on. And so I was very pleasantly surprised with that. I wasn't expecting it to suddenly a couple hours later be better than what it was when I first put it on. But because it went so well, I did want to try out a different foundation that is a liquid foundation from Hourglass. And this is a very nice glass container. It is super heavy, like you feel like you're getting something luxury with this for sure. And this is the Vanish Seamless Finish Liquid Foundation. This will be kind of interesting for me to test out. I'm not sure if it is meant to be full coverage or if it's meant to be minimal coverage. I'm not entirely certain, and I also don't know if it's meant to be more matte or more dewy, but we will find out. So I'm super excited to try this guy out. And then also, speaking of foundations, because I decided to go a little whole hog, I got a foundation from Tom Ford because money apparently doesn't matter to me. And oh, interesting. Okay. Lots of little paper pieces on here. This is what the container looks like. And I gotta be honest, so real quick, this is the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. So this is going to be a matte foundation, and I don't know if it's, again, what level of coverage they're going for with this one. However, so this foundation versus the Hourglass foundation, these are both luxury level foundations, I would say. And I want to say, if I remember correctly, that the Hourglass one was around like $60-ish before you do any kind of discount on there, and the Tom Ford one was like $88. This is in glass. This is a plasticky type lightweight container. Yeah, it's like a faux glass type thing on here, and then you just turn it, and then the thing comes up that you essentially dispense the product out of. But it feels very flimsy, it feels cheap. This does not. This feels super luxurious, and yet was $28 less than the Tom Ford one. So I'm gonna have to hope that the Tom Ford one went skimpy on the packaging because the product is so great. We'll find out. I guess if we were also comparing it, so the Tom Ford bronzer, it does have 30 milliliters, whereas the Hourglass one has 25 milliliters. So you do get a little bit more product in the Tom Ford one, but still, $28 more for a plastic container. I'm a little bit bummed because it definitely looked like glass on the website. Already harumphing. But speaking of Tom Ford and spending money on products, I got one of the Tom Ford Soleil bronzers. And I did get the smaller one. I'm not sure you can even get the larger one anymore, but that thing was like $125 or something like that. Whereas this one, I believe, was $75. And I got shade 2, which is the darker one, the Terra shade. And this is more of what I am expecting from Tom Ford. You get a nice little cloth pouch that the bronzer is in. And then the packaging is the primary reason why I got this, because I love the white with like the gold filigree around the rim. Like, that's super nice to me. And then when you open it up, gold lined all around the rim. It's just super duper pretty. And this to me is already a decent size bronzer. Like this, I'm not gonna blow through this that quickly. And so I'm not mad that I got the small one at all. I think this is really, really nice. Would it have been cool to be able to whip out the bigger one, which is literally like this size in comparison to this one? Yes, it would have. But this is still super duper pretty, and I'm really, really glad I got it. Yeah, I am super excited to try this one out. I did hear from someone, I believe it was Teresa is Dead, when she was reviewing hers, because I could not tell this from looking at the products online. The 02 shade, which clearly is not that much darker than the 01 shade. Like this is easily gonna work just fine for my skin tone. This one is the matte shade, and the 01 is the like more shimmery shade. And so if you were wanting your bronzer to be more matte, make sure you get the 02 instead of the 01. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind if you were planning on getting it at some point. But I'm really glad to just have that for the container, honestly. Like that was 100% why I got it, because honestly, I don't need a bronzer. I love the bronzers that I have. Like my two favorite ones are the Physicians Formula bronzer and the NARS bronzer. And I could get those all day long and be perfectly satisfied. And so this was a bit of a guilty pleasure just because I wanted the bougie packaging. So at least Tom Ford did it right for that. But I am now extra nervous about that foundation just because the packaging already was just super disappointing. We'll see how that goes. And then on a guilty pleasure note, the last thing that I picked up is the Natasha Denona Trichrome palette. And in my viewfinder, this packaging is looking purple, but I can assure you that as I am looking at it in front of me, it looks greenish blue. So already the box that it is in is already multi-chromey. So the main selling point of this palette, see, okay, now in the viewfinder I can see the bluish, and then in front of me it looks purple. So the packaging is already kind of nifty. Just for that alone, I'm happy I have it. But the big selling point for the Natasha Denona Trichrome palette is these three shades right here are the multi-chromes. And I gotta be honest, after seeing a couple reviews, so I believe it was Amy Loves Makeup did a review, and Angie Nyquist did a review, and Emily Hanhan did an awesome Duping the Vibes video on this. And so after seeing those three videos, I didn't pick this up specifically for the multi-chromes because honestly they didn't look that impressive when people were swatching them and utilizing them, but the matte shades that are in here are super duper pretty. And I remember that when I was going through my last like new makeup releases video, I got super duper salty about the Natasha Denona palette because the pictures that first came out actually looked like this. So thank God this was true to the first round of pictures that I had seen, because the second round of pictures, I'm not gonna lie guys, like I was so mad because I was literally like, am I being catfished by a freaking eyeshadow palette right now? Like, what am I even looking at? Because the shades were completely different. Like, these beautiful limey yellows that are on top ended up looking more kind of mustardy, and then this entire row with all of these beautiful purple lilac-y shades looked more like mauvish cranberry with like red undertones, which I don't need any of those. I have more than enough palettes that have reds in them. I was like oh my god, why is that word so hard to say? I was specifically looking for the purples and the yellows in this palette, and so I am very, very glad that these ended up looking correct. But let's go ahead and swatch the multi-chromes real quick, just so that we can see how they do in real life. So the top one is Scarab, which is more of a green to blue to gold shift. And then the middle one is Kinetic, which is more of a purple to pink to gold shift. And then Color Flip on the bottom, I'm having a real hard time figuring out what it is. It looks like it's gonna be yellow, green, pinkish. So we'll find out. Let's go ahead and get these on our fingers. All right, so first up is Scarab. And that is not bad. And then we have Kinetic next. It's not, I mean, it's not bad as a metallic goes, but that one, I'm not quite seeing the multi-chrome as much. Like I really have to turn my hand completely to the side to where I almost can't even see it anymore to really get any of the gold on there. Otherwise it's just kind of looking purplish pink. And then let's try Color Flip, which is this last one. Definitely seeing the pink in the viewfinder. Okay. That one's not bad. I can see the greenish shift with the pink on there. So I think that one and then Scarab are probably the two that I think give off the most like multi-chromey vibe. Kinetic in the middle to me comes a bit more like a duochrome. I'm not really seeing as much of a good color payoff on that one, but I mean, they're not that. Okay, I can see a little bit more blue from back here as I'm moving my hand around. So it's not bad, and I know I'm gonna enjoy playing around with this one, just because it does have some really interesting looking matte shades, and no matter what, I am a sucker for a multi-chrome. I have so many Terra Moons and JD Glow and Cleonda multi-chromes at this point that like I probably have the entire scope of the rainbow, but I absolutely love them because they're so much fun. And so having 3 more, not half bad, I won't complain. But yeah, that was my haul from Sephora. Let me know if any of you guys participated in the VIB sale, what you guys got, or if you ended up missing out, what would you have loved to have picked up. And yeah, that sums up this video. Let me know what you guys thought. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you thought the purchases that I made were terrible. Let me know. Either way, I would love to hear from you guys. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. I think you should. You know, you've made it to the end of another video. I think you should subscribe. Join my family on here. I'm really hoping to make it to 100 before the end of the year. And if I do make it to 100 subscribers before the end of the year, I might do something special. As we know, I love doing giveaways and giving things to people. So yeah, let's see if we can do it. Let's make this thing happen. But other than that, that was my Sephora haul, and you guys just go out and have a good one.